pains me a little bit to let this one go. I don't have a lot of Paul Newmans that have come in with original box and papers, but this one right here is a really cool watch. It's got the white dial, which is one that I prefer. I like the black as well, but the white to me is outstanding. This watch dates back to the 60s. It's got the original box and papers, and it's got the original price tag, which is $250 back in when it was sold. It's in great condition. The bezel is outstanding on this watch. The dial is almost perfect. Eric, tell us a little bit about it.
So this is the reference 6239. This is the very earliest version of the Daytona, introduced in 1963 and named after the racetrack in Florida. But starting in the mid to late 1960s, they had commissioned Singer to do this sort of very unusual exotic dial design. I think the idea behind it was that it was easier to read the time in the registers. They have these interesting squares at the end of the dashes and in the subsidiary seconds counter. So this watch was actually very difficult to sell in general at that time.
Yeah, they weren't very popular.
It was really unusual. It was almost too it almost stood out too much. So many of these sat for years before they were sold, and often at a big discount. This watch came to Bob's Watches from the original owner, but really is special because it retains its box. It was serviced in 1975 by Rolex, has that card. It has the original Cosmograph booklet with the sticker that says 6239 that was on the case back. So probably at the time of purchase, they just peeled it off and stuck it right on there. The bezel's unpolished. The case is very lightly polished. Has a bracelet that also has the serial number engraved by hand on that, which I see for these US made bracelets sometimes, so it's probably born on the watch. It's from 1970, the bracelet, so it's probably sold after 1970 or 71. This is sort of the quintessential Rolex chronograph.
Sure is.
And I do like the 6239 a lot because it's exactly what Paul Newman wore and what made the reference famous. Paul Newman's watch, of course, sold last October in New York for $17.8 million, including buyer's premium. His serial number was actually extremely close to this one, you know,
before it, or did it come
just after? I think.
Just after.
So this dial could have been made right next to Paul's and sitting there.
Wow.
It's just a very pure design with the steel bezel, the red.
What about the condition of the dial?
The dial is amazing. These often have scratches or aging, different problems that can develop when the dial's out of the case during service. But
the loom can turn a dark color. Or
loom can turn dark or be
away.
damaged. All the plots are there, pretty full, almost perfect. And the white color is very vibrant overall. Also, the minute and hour hands in the center are original. Often those are replaced.
Where are we starting the bid at on this?
Starting it at $175,000, which is really a bargain on the market today, particularly for box and papers. Expect it to go much higher.
Yeah. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Paul.